got to tell y'all about this thing called life. You know I got to share it. See, there's this thing called life. I got to tell y'all. Hi everyone, welcome to episode 178 of In a Good Way podcast. Today's special guest is Genesis from the YouTube channel Love Peace Genesis. Genesis is a tarot reader, intuitive, and magician. She does weekly tarot and oracle readings, spiritual discussions. She provides spiritual discussions and advice. And she also has on her channel for the open-minded that are finding themselves spiritually. So I love that. Um,
Perfect intro.
yeah, no. Thank you so much for being here. It's an honor.
Sure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I think you were probably one of the first tarot readers I came across, when I got introduced into the world of tarot.
Oh,
Yeah. And it was interesting because obviously, right? Wow, do you still have it as just a Gemini channel? Because I know I've seen now you do like fire signs, air signs.
yes. I'm venturing out. I'm
Okay.
venturing out. So I do try to experiment a little bit to see what the people like, but it's always gonna sway back to Geminis because that is my biggest audience. But yeah, if I can get a little bit more tragic from the other signs, then yeah, I'll pick it up. But for the most time, it's usually Gemini stuff and collective stuff. I do collective reads as well.
Oh, okay. How long have you been doing the collective ones?
Since I started, but off and on. So I did start back doing collectives about 2 months ago.
Oh,
But yeah, it's been off and on since I started the channel. So
wow.
I have a different approach with collective videos.
Hmm.
And I try to do readings, which when you watch me, that guide you back to you, that guide you back to yourself, and not it doesn't turn into blaming other people for our shortcomings and things like that. So I do things a little different than the most collectives because it's talking about how the karmics, and all this other stuff. I don't talk about any of that stuff.
Ah. And so let me ask you, since we're talking about this, how long ago did you start the channel?
Ooh. I started in 2020.
Oh, wow.
In 2020. But I didn't get consistent until probably because I was just like posting here and there because I had like a regular job and I wasn't really dedicated at first.
Hmm.
So I started posting consistently, I would say 2022,
Oh.
2021, 2022 is when I started like really, really going hard and the channel started growing like rapidly around there. But yeah, so I would say around 2020 was when I started.
Mm. And what gave you the idea to make it a Gemini channel? Because it looks like it's worked, right? You have over 100,000 subscribers, like 110,000, something like
Yes.
that. So,
Yes. I don't know. It just happened.
mm.
Like when I would go live, it would be mostly Gemini's watching. Even
Oh,
when I was doing collective reads live, it would be mostly Gemini's watching.
mm.
Even when I was doing all the signs, it would just be certain signs that would have a whole lot of traction, and it's usually the Geminis. So
Wow.
I was like, well, maybe I should aim more towards Geminis because the Geminis are, my biggest supporters, and you always want to cater to your supporters,
Yeah.
So that's kind of what happened. They found me,
Mm.
and I
Wow.
just ran with it.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful. So why do you think that is that Gemini's, um, yeah, why do you think we're so drawn to? Is it just our thirst for knowledge or what
It
is it?
could be. It could be, and I'm a Gemini. I'm a Gemini stellium
Mm.
as
Oh,
well.
okay.
So it could be the communication style to people they may just get me because I'm a Gemini Mercury as well. So,
Mm.
sometimes you just mesh with people and vibe with people when you're watching them on YouTube, and you're going to have those readers or those content creators that you really resonate with. And I think that is more than likely what it is.
Oh, no, that makes sense. Because yeah, I think instantly when I meet another Gemini, I feel comfortable, right? Or so, because
Hmm.
it's like, oh, I know they have to understand me in some way, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes perfect sense. So what
Yeah.
is it? Your Mercury, Sun, and what else?
Mercury, Sun, Venus. and my Chiron.
Oh, wow.
And all of those are in the ninth house, which is
Oh,
crazy.
wow.
Yeah.
They just told me I'm a nine and something. I forgot what though. I know my life path number is like a five, and then I'm a nine something else. I forgot what it is.
Your
I don't know.
birthday is your birthday number
Yeah, yeah,
9?
yeah. 6/9,
Okay.
June 9th, June 9th.
Yeah. Yep. Your birthday number is 9.
Oh, okay. So what is that? That how? So what
9
number is
is
it?
Mars.
Oh,
I mesh well with birthday nines because I'm a birthday number one.
oh,
And birthday number ones and nines go together really well, or they can clash because they both have very strong personalities. Because
oh, wow.
one is the sun, 9 is Mars, and it's all that
Mm.
fire and stuff. But I usually mesh well with 9 energies. I'm surrounded by life path number nines too. So I usually mesh well with nines. So, but my life path is 6, well, it's 33/6.
Oh,
So 9 is like my opposite, as far as
oh.
my life path number goes. But I usually mesh well with nines for sure.
So you said isn't 33 or which are the ones that you don't break down? Is it 11, 22, and 33? Or
Yeah, 11,
but
22, 33.
but
Yeah.
you still break it down to a six then or
Yeah, I still break mine down. I do both because
oh.
some numerology, there's different forms of numerology, and some of them don't recognize the double digits, the master numbers,
Mm.
and some do. So you just have to decide, like, which way you're gonna go. No, there's no right or wrong. You just kind of go with what works for you.
Yeah, no, and so at 33 you're already meant to teach, right? Like the 33?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's a little bit about like the 33 if you don't mind? Because I don't know all.
33 represents it's pretty much three twice. So it's communication, it's
Mm.
expression. It's also, since it reduces to a 6, like love, because 6 is about love and unconditional love. So it's like to the highest power, learning unconditional love of self to others, and all of that too. But yeah, master teacher is the 33. We're here
Oh.
to teach, but mainly we're here to teach love. We're here to teach
Oh.
unconditional love, of self and of others. But if you have it of self, it's easy to have for others too,
Mm.
so.
Wow. No, no, that's beautiful. So doesn't it also usually mean like those master numbers is like you've been here a lot of times too, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we've been here a few times, which makes sense because my astrology chart also points to that because I have a lot of higher degrees, and I had an astrologist tell me when you have like a lot of higher degrees, like 26, 27, 28, 29, you've been here before,
Mm.
a few times.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, it would make perfect sense.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And I'll ask you a little about that, but I know I feel like I jumped way ahead because, it just, I think that's a very Gemini thing, right? But I wanted to ask you, usually all my guests I start off with, like in when everything started for you, right? Like as a kid, were you already experiencing, um, seeing spirits? Were you having premonitions? Like anything you remember as a kid?
Yeah, as a kid, I could hear. I didn't really see,
Mm.
but I'm more clairaudient. I've said this in a few of the videos. I'm more clairaudient than anything, and my
Oh,
hearing is superb. Like I can
wow.
hear stuff that people will be like, "I don't hear that," and then as we get closer to, they're like, "How did you hear that from all the way back there?"
Mm.
I have really, really great hearing, so I would hear stuff growing up, and I just thought I was crazy. I just thought it was, nuts. And then I had a grandmother though that she helped me nurture that. She helped me
Wow.
nurture the parts of that. But she was like the crazy person in the family. So
Wow.
yeah, so I remember I had told her about an experience I had around probably about 5 or 6. I heard someone calling my name. Like
Mm.
I was laying in bed, watching TV, and I heard someone calling my name, and I was looking around. I didn't see anyone. And so I told my grandmother about it, and she said it was probably my dad. And so that's when she was breaking down how, her father lived there and he passed away and everything. And
Wow.
she showed me a picture of him, and I was like, okay, yeah, he looked familiar. And so I was like, okay,
Mm.
that could have been who I heard. And there's been other incidents too, mainly in places where people have loved ones that have passed on, where
Mm.
I would hear them and I would like hear their voice, and everything like that. And when I first started nurturing my gift, I could hear whole conversations from people. So, say for instance, I have a client and my client, she got into an argument with her boyfriend. After the reading, I could hear her and someone else's voice arguing. Like it's insane, but I've gotten to a place where I can control it better. But it got to a place where I couldn't control it, and it was like driving me nuts. But I've gotten
Wow.
to a place now I can control it now. But I can hear conversations sometimes. If I really sit and listen, I can hear conversations going on in other houses. I can hear conversations with family members and things like that. So that's why people are like, well, how do you know that? How did you know that we said that? We were talking about that. It's like, because I heard it.
Mm.
So
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. Have you ever been able to like be next to someone, hear their thoughts, and it's like, oh, like,
now I'm not sure because I've had that happen, but again, I don't know if that's a thought that I'm listening to or if it's a spirit or something.
oh,
Sometimes I'm
okay.
not sure what I'm listening to at the time. So I just always assume it's just a spirit,
Mm.
except for that one time, like I said. And then after that, if I've heard your voice before, then I know, okay, that's a thought that I'm listening
Mm.
to. But if I've never heard your voice, I have no idea. Like, I don't know if I'm hearing you or somebody else or whatnot.
Wow, yeah. And so going a little back to your grandma, so your mom, it kind of skipped her then, the like the gifts and all that, or
No, my mom is just more, she doesn't embrace it as much.
ah,
So it didn't necessarily skip her, but she just doesn't embrace it. My grandmother, she was like what our family considered like mentally ill. And a lot of those people
wow,
are gifted in
yeah.
many ways. But my grandmother, she was what we think had some form of like schizophrenia. But she could feel TV waves. She could see TV waves, and things like that. She could feel like at the time when the internet started coming out, it started bothering her because she could feel the internet frequencies through her body to the point where it
Mm.
would bother her.
Wow.
So, yeah, she was considered like crazy, schizophrenic and things like that. But when I look back on it, it was just like, she was just going through some spiritual stuff. She was getting some downloads. But yeah, she was like the typical crazy schizophrenic because like in the movies where people that are very sensitive to frequencies, they wear like aluminum foil, things
Yeah.
like that. She did that. Like
Wow.
because she was so sensitive to frequencies, she would have aluminum foil and stuff on her to help her because it would be shooting all through her body
Wow.
and things like that. So she helped me because when I would tell her I would hear stuff, she would help me decipher what it is, or who it is. So she was really the only person that like helped me nurture that.
Mm. Wow. So when you would tell your mom, she kind of just would shut it down, basically, like,
No, or it was my imagination or
oh,
whatever,
okay.
you know.
Even though she was sensitive too.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now is she more open about it, or?
Oh yeah. She
Oh.
even told me that when she was a kid because my grandmother's father passed away when my mom was 12.
Mm.
And she even told me that when he passed away, he had came to visit her. And she saw him and he waved goodbye to her. This was
Oh,
before the family even told her he passed away.
oh, wow.
So she didn't even know he passed away yet. They hadn't even made it back home to the hospital, from the hospital after he passed. And she said that he stood in the doorway of her room and waved at her and
Oh,
walked away.
wow.
And he was also the inspiration of her naming me Genesis. So she decided to name her first daughter Genesis when she was 12 years old.
Oh, wow.
So, she's seen some stuff, but like I said, she wouldn't really nurture it or really pay attention to it. So
Yeah. So I have to, because right now when you said that, I got chills all down my side about her naming you Genesis. So why that name? What was it about?
I don't know. She just liked the name, and Genesis is the beginning.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I was her first daughter, I was her first child, so I'm not sure. She just said she wanted to name her first daughter Genesis, and I remember she told me that she talked to her grandpa about it. before he passed and everything like that. And that's what she went with. She did it when she had me.
Wow. Yeah, I like it. Genesis. Wow. That's
Thank
funny
you.
because I was telling you earlier about the whole. I don't know if I should jump into that yet, but I was telling you about obviously it's Mercury retrograde and all that, and I've been feeling like
Hmm.
I'm going through a whole new beginning. It's interesting that just this morning my phone completely died, right? So like all my contacts, my pictures, my videos, my
Yeah.
from this whole, and I had already made a video where I talked about I feel like I'm going through a whole like transformation, like
Hmm.
some kind of big shift. Obviously, it's Scorpio season too, so it's really interesting.
Hmm.
But then it's funny that after that happens, and I'm interviewing someone named Genesis, so it feels like a whole new beginning. Literally,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
amazing.
A fresh start.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. I guess I don't know. That meant like really saying goodbye to like probably old. So
Hmm.
hopefully no one takes offense if they see this. But I guess I don't know if that's what the spirit world is doing or whatever the universe
Hey.
like. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Clear it
interesting.
out.
Yeah. So after that, like, so as you were little, you started noticing things and like what else did anything happen up to you deciding to be a tarot reader? Like any other things, any big moments in your
Mm,
life?
I don't think so. I did visit a psychic before.
Oh, okay.
Um, and this was way, way, way back when. This was before I even reached, I may have been either in my early 20s or like late teens around this
Mm,
time. And she told me that I was going to end up doing something like this. And at the
mm,
time, imagine saying this to someone that doesn't even know what a tarot card is. And I was like, what? No way. So it's all coming to fruition. Like she said, a lot of people were going to know me, and everything like that. And at the time, I was like very shy. I was very like I would have never thought in a million years, that I would be doing something like this.
mm.
But she said it. She said that you were going to be doing spiritual work and, doing intuitive work and psychic work. And I was like, what, me? So, and that was like way back when. Um, and then I started doing cards probably mid to late 20s. And I taught myself through playing cards, if that makes sense. So I didn't know tarot.
Hmm.
So I had a playing card deck and I was like, I'm going to start reading this. So you know how you learn, you pull some cards and then as they come out, I'll look it up. I'll look up what it means. And to be honest, I was a little intimidated by tarot cards
Mm.
because, it was like, how do I read it? What do I do?
Oh.
But I took a tarot class some years later after that. But she said, you started from the hard part. It's really hard to read playing cards. And I was like, really? Because it was very simple to me. And I picked it up very easily. So actually, what was hard was actually easy for me. And
Hmm.
what was easy was hard. So
So how did anyone teach you with the playing cards or you just
no, I
like,
just taught myself.
like what would it mean what? Like how are you interpreting the
Well, first, well, Google. But then I would look up like say a spade. I look up what's the spiritual meaning behind the spade. And
Oh.
so it's took a lot of research to do, which I like to do anyway. I like to read and
Hmm.
research and stuff anyway. So it was like, okay, what does a diamond in a card deck mean? What is the spiritual meaning behind this? The spiritual meaning behind king, behind queen, behind the six, the seven, and things like that's how I learned numerology as well.
Oh.
Was doing that too, was learning different numbers and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much I just taught myself and just literally looking up every single thing, every single component.
Wow. And do you know also because I remember I interviewed someone, one of my I think first probably in the first 20 interviews I did, and they did readings through the cards, right? So they did the
Hmm.
numbers. So are you familiar? You could like your number and all that too, or well, it's a lot, right? It's like the whole birth chart in numbers, right, or something.
Yeah, my you mean cardology?
Yeah, yeah, cardology.
Yes, I do know mine. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
And does it like is it similar to everything you've learned like
It
birth chart wise?
does. There's there's someone I follow. I have to look up her name, but there's someone I follow on Facebook that does cardology, and she posts a lot of times like on different days, what that day's card means. And I remember on my birthday, she had posted about my card. It's the Three of Spades,
Oh.
is my card, and it was talking about how they're extremely psychic. Like
Mm.
so I was like, wow, like it did resonate a
Wow.
lot with me, a whole lot with me. So,
Wow. I think I have that somewhere. Because I'm an eight of diamonds, but but I think I don't know if it was the three of spades. It was three something, right? But
hmm
what she said, does it happen to be a woman named Aquarius Maximus? Is it her?
that may be who.
Okay, because she's the one I interviewed like a
Oh,
while back.
really?
Yeah,
That sounds familiar.
yeah,
That
yeah.
may be who it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think on IG she will post even all the celebrities. Oh, today's so and
Yes.
so to all this stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, it might
Yes.
be her. Because I mean, she's really the only one I've seen. I'm sure a lot of people do it, but for some reason, a friend told me, "Oh, you should interview her." And I looked her up, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And
Yeah.
she's yeah, yeah. So we had a really nice conversation, and yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like
So
that.
yeah, so when you first picked up the tarot, it was just from after doing cards, like it just because let me tell you, for example, for me, the same like you, I didn't know nothing about tarot, and it came to me in a dream, and I
Mm-hmm.
saw, and then there was a message, and I was like, what? Like, I didn't even know what that was, right? But I
hmm
went straight to Google. I woke up,
Yeah.
and it took me to the reader. The message they were giving was the same as the message they were giving me in the dream. So I was just like, what? And then I just went down the rabbit hole, and that's how I started
hmm
watching like the tarot readings
Yeah.
on YouTube. So what exactly was it that you were just like, okay,
I, I can't say. It's just one day I just did it.
wow.
I just did it. I can't even really say like what it was. There was no like urge or anything like that. I may have had someone like ask me for a reading before, and I was like, I don't do that. And it made me curious. Okay, maybe I should kind of dibble and dabble into this. Now, going from cards, playing cards to tarot, it was just time. I was like,
Mm,
okay, I've been doing this for a while now, reading through these cards. Let me learn like the real tarot cards. And plus, by that time, I had gotten curious, about how the cards looked and what they meant, and it was kind of fascinating to me, like seeing other people reading the cards and stuff like that. So I was like, let me get a deck and try this out for myself. So,
absolutely. Are you familiar with because when I went like, after all that and I was watching readers, right? Like you and all like I was like, okay, maybe I'm supposed to do it too, right? So I
hmm
went and I think I heard someone say you go and then the cards call out to you, right? So I
hmm
ended up going to this shop and sure enough, I grabbed this deck and it was the only deck because I think it scared me. So I ended up getting another deck that I didn't even connect with, but it was
hmm
the Orishas. You know the Orishas?
hmm
Yeah. So when I grabbed that deck, my head lit up like a Christmas tree. It was like if a beam was shooting up, and I was like, so I took it, but then I was scared to open it because I was like, I looked it up, I think, and it was like, I don't know. The person explaining Orishas was like, I guess I wasn't familiar with all the terms, right? Channeling or this and that. So it was almost
hmm
like if they made it sound like if you're giving them permission to almost take over
Yeah.
your, oh yeah,
Yeah.
like, but even with the
Yeah.
what in general, or like you think though, just like certain.
It depends because you have to learn how to control it
Mm.
or to control you. Because when I first started, like especially reading on a grand scale, because I was reading for a long time before I started YouTube.
Oh.
So, and again, that was like crazy how that started, but um, I was reading a long time before I went to YouTube. And even like in my earlier videos, you'll see like the tarot deck that I have has the meaning of the cards on there. So
Mm.
it was more so like me like learning and people that are watching learning too. It's like a two for one kind of thing, an exchange kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think that when I started, It was I just went completely blank. What were we talking about?
About them taking over.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
See, and it just happened.
yeah, that's funny. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was saying you have to learn how to control it. Like you have to learn how to, because when I first started, I couldn't control it. So sometimes, when I started reading for the collective, I would get all these downloads. Like all these downloads would just, even when I'm not recording, I'm just minding my business. I could be in the bed sleep. I would wake up, and again, if you go back, like when I first started, I would get up in the middle of the night and record
Oh, wow.
because I was just getting downloads when I was sleeping. I would be getting downloads throughout the day. So if you don't control it, it'll control you for sure.
Mm. Wow. But so you feel like that's something, because to me, I just thought like they're giving us the information, but I've never felt that something took over my body. So that's what happens sometimes. You feel
Hmm.
with oh wow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So it's I've learned too, like now that they're putting all these restrictions on YouTube, now I have to be more like aware and more mindful now because usually I'm just in the zone. So you it kind of takes you out the zone
Mm.
when you're reading because now you have to worry about, you're not showing something naked or
Oh
whatever
yeah.
on there now. So it didn't used to be like that. So you could just boom,
Mm.
boom, 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 boom. And now it's like you have to like kind of slow down and really pay attention to what you're doing. So yeah, but it is like that. It takes over. Sometimes after a reading, I won't even remember anything I said. Like I have to go back and watch the video and see what I was talking about.
Wow. That's amazing. Wow, wow. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. That's pretty cool. Well, I mean, to you, you're not afraid of that, obviously, right? So, like
No,
to you, you never like you didn't grow up around like church or nothing like that, right? Like,
I did. I
oh, you
grew
did?
up in a very religious family,
So you
actually.
didn't get a lot of pushback when once you had started like following your spiritual path more? Or...
I didn't tell anyone.
Oh, wow. Smart, I guess. That's the
Yeah, I
smart
didn't
way to
tell
do it.
anyone.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And people didn't start really learning about my YouTube channel until probably the last year or so.
Oh.
And then like close family, probably maybe 6 months ago. So
Mm.
I just didn't tell anybody. I think the first people that I told were my mom and my siblings. But my siblings were like, we're not surprised. Like we already know that,
Oh,
that's
wow.
what you're on. And now they're getting like super spiritual and stuff. So,
Mm.
you know, I've done readings for family members as well that are Christians,
Oh.
but there are family that I just did not mention it to at all until recently. And I still didn't like formally mention it. It was just I created a Facebook page and I started like posting on the Facebook page what I do. And that's why I did not put myself on Facebook. And I was kind of forced to because there were people impersonating me on Facebook.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
So I was like, okay, I need to put a profile up, even if I don't use it, because people are like using my name and stuff like that on Facebook. And so I made a Facebook page, and then that's people started finding out that way because people
Wow.
didn't even know, people that have known me for maybe a decade didn't even know I had a YouTube channel.
Wow. So let's talk about that. How did you end up finally starting like a YouTube channel after?
Um, I was going through a lot at the time. And it was 2020, so a lot of people
Mm.
were going through a
Yeah.
lot at the
Yeah.
time. But yeah, I had a lot going on with relationships, with friendships, and it was just me finding an outlet for it. Like,
Mm.
not getting into anything destructive, not turning to smoking or drinking or anything like that. Just finding something productive to do. But I know that it was something I was meant to do because a lot of times you figure out what you're meant to do through other people. And people have been telling me for years to make a YouTube channel, get on YouTube and talk to people and create because people wanted me to do like beauty and stuff too.
Oh.
And that was my original plan. Like I was going to do tarot, I was going to do beauty and everyday life and everything, but it didn't work out like that.
Mm.
But yeah, that was my original plan was to have like an all-in-one kind of thing. But yeah, that didn't quite work out. And I think I still have a hair video, but I may
Oh
even
wow.
have like a cooking video up too,
Oh wow.
from way back when.
On the same
Because that
channel
was
or?
my plan. Yeah, because that was my plan, like to
Oh
do
wow.
everything at once, on one channel. But like I said, people were like, "You have the personality for it, you got the face for it, you should do it." And I was like, just because you have a personality doesn't mean that, you should do YouTube. But I had this fear of being seen. Like I had this fear of, people seeing me and, critique and judgment
Mm.
and everything like that. And so that's when I had went through a period of just going live because I'm a Sagittarius moon. So
Oh. Oh, that's right. Yeah,
right.
yeah. I'm a
Yes,
Sagittarius
so
moon too. Yeah, yeah.
yes, a lot of times when we do stuff, we do things grand. We do things
Oh.
big. So a lot of times, I would be like, oh no, I'm scared. I don't want to record. So I just started going live. Every time I did a video, I just went live to kind of get over that fear of being seen and talking and making a mistake and everything like that. And then that kind of made me a lot more comfortable, in front of the camera because
Yeah.
you're live. So you can't really do much other than make a mistake and deal with it. So
Yeah, that's funny because I know the first time I went live, I don't know why. As soon as I hear like on live, I got like super
yeah.
nerve. And I was like, and then I think it was ended up being just a couple minutes and I deleted it because I don't know what. I started sweating, like, what the hell? Like, there's no one looking at me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
you
You
can't
have
see
to
who's
like
looking
get
at
over
you.
that fear and like the more you do it, the better you get. So I just had to keep doing it. Of course, it was just like that for me too. I was nervous when I got on there. I was like, I don't know what to say. I would hit live. You just sitting there like not knowing what to say. But after a while, it's normal. It's just like rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So since you mentioned downloads. So you get them consistently, right? Like pretty much every day
Yeah.
or sometimes or so
Yeah.
has, obviously these are crazy times, right? I think for the most part, like I try to stay disconnected from everything, but people will
Hmm.
always tell you, "Oh, did you see this or did this or did you hear this?" So for you, have you gotten any downloads for the collective, like any big ones? Like, you know, there was someone that I really respect a lot, right? Older
Hmm.
woman, she's a medicine woman, right? I think in her
Hmm.
70s. Uh, and out of nowhere, I haven't even had a chance to talk to her, but she just got up and left California, for example. I think she saw that something was supposed to happen, and I don't know, but I'm in
Hmm.
California, so I'm like, I haven't gotten anything. So, I mean, I have, but not like that urgency, like get up and go, right? So
Hmm.
I'm still here, but have you gotten anything like that, like any alarming thing, or I mean, just anything that the collective to be ready for?
Nothing necessary. I don't feel like anything urgent. Now, I do feel like there may be some um fall from grace from, some higher ups, especially like religious based or spiritual based. And I know I mentioned that in one of the videos way back when, but there may be some falls from grace from
Hmm.
some people that have whole lot of respect, maybe some stuff that comes out about them, but that's kind of in the air. But
Mm.
for the collective, I feel like it's more so an out with the old, in with the new kind of thing. And I feel like that's a collective thing. She may have left because she needed something new, different. Okay, because
Mm.
I feel like that's going to be major. Now, the thing is, in order for things to be rebuilt, they have to be tore down,
Yeah.
you know. So,
Yeah.
so that's something to consider too. But yeah, I feel like out with the old, in with the new is like a major, major energy. So hopefully the weather isn't too bad, but I think we got most of the weather stuff out of the way because I know I talked about weather in the numerology video that I did. I talked about this year having some crazy weather. Um, which was a thing. I
Mm.
also mentioned fire too before the California fires.
Yeah.
I had mentioned fire and everything because it's a Mars year, so it's going to be crazy. I told people to watch those tempers because yeah, it was kind of a hectic year for that, for people losing their tempers and road rage incidents and
Oh,
uh,
wow.
things like that. Oh yeah, so. The kids are going crazy now. The kids are out of control. But I feel like a lot of this stuff happens to bring issues to light, you
Yeah.
know?
Wow.
So,
Yeah. I
yeah.
wasn't laughing about the kid. I was laughing because you said, because just the other day I was driving home from work, and yeah, there was two guys about to fight in the middle of the road. They got out their cars. One had a pole or a pipe, and the other one,
Mm-hmm.
and then the car
Yeah.
in front of me is like just like sticking their neck. What is it called? Rubbernecking, right? When someone does that, like with yeah. And I was like, I was just honking at him. I was like, dude, like I want to get home. Like I don't,
Yes.
because it was like a two hour in LA traffic. It's like 2 hours,
Mm-hmm.
which should be normally in another place like 30 minutes, like a 2 hour drive, right? Like on the GPS, everything's just red the whole way
Yeah.
home. So I was just like
Yeah.
honking, like just move, like
Yeah.
if they're gonna fight, they're gonna fight. I don't care. Like, but it was
Yeah.
funny that yeah, because I don't think I've seen that. It's not like an everyday thing where you see someone just jump out their car and the one guy
Yeah,
had the
it's
pipe
not.
and yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not an
Wow,
everyday thing. And I've
wow.
seen a lot of it with the fighting people. I've seen fights on the road. I've seen people get out the car, get into a fist fight. And it's just like, look, just go home. Okay. Like,
Yeah,
we all trying to do the same thing here. But yeah, but again, all this is happening for a reason. It's all happening, everything that's going on with politics and everything. And I'm like you, I stay disconnected. I try to stay as a observer, and not
mm,
get emotionally tied into what's going on because I realize that everything happens for a reason, even if it sucks. Okay. But it doesn't always suck.
yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely. Since it's been a big topic, the whole UFOs and all that, have you had any throughout your life, any visitations, any
I
encounters?
haven't.
Oh
I
no?
haven't. No,
Mm.
but I feel like we do have life out there.
Yeah.
It would be crazy to think that Earth is the only life and human is the only life. I feel like there is definitely life out there. Now, will we ever get like solid proof of that? Who knows? Who
Yeah.
knows?
Well, that was one of the things I dreamed about that it was very like repetitive. Like the dream kept coming and coming and so I felt like it was gonna happen soon. I thought before this year ended, like there was gonna be a big event, right?
Hmm.
Oh, there was one event. That one was, but I don't know if you ever heard the conspiracy about what is it called? Like Project Bluebeam or something like that?
Mm-mm, never heard
Well,
of that.
where they used the hologram to make us so it was almost like if they would project like a whole uh like alien invasion, right? And everyone's
Hmm.
like, running, and obviously that would give like automatic control, right? Who wouldn't like be like, oh, please protect us, please, whatever, right? And everyone just shelters in fear. So that's one of the
Yeah.
conspiracies from decades and decades. Probably, I don't even know, maybe before the 70s, who knows? So they've already been talking about that. So obviously the technology exists, right? To do these.
Hmm.
Well, we've seen holograms, so obviously it does exist. And it's not like any of
Yeah.
us are gonna fly up and touch to see if it's a real UFO or not, right?
Yeah.
So so that's kind of what I dreamed. It was like all the spaceships were there. It was like a whole invasion kind of thing, and everyone
Really?
was like, yeah, scattering. And I remember I was in the house. There was probably like 20 people. I was like, we can't stay here. We gotta go. And then everyone like, I was leading everybody out down the street, like taking off. Like
Hmm.
I just knew we couldn't stay there, and everyone was trying to shelter like in a basement or something. I was like, we gotta go, and then boom, and then we were just taking off. But the spaceships were, and they were so deep. That's what tripped me out. I saw them like with so much detail. Like I could see every little thing on the
Hmm.
spaceship. Like it was just amazing. So I was like, is
Wow.
this a real thing or was it that projection thing or what? So I didn't get clarity on that, right? So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it may be a metaphor for something too. Like
Oh,
that
the
could be
invasion?
it as well. Yeah,
Oh.
there may be a metaphor. Now I know what I've been kind of picking up on is a a divide that's happening. And I
Mm.
feel like it's deeper than, red and blue and ethnicity. It's more so like there's a spiritual divide happening
Mm.
here, between the people that are doing the work, enlightening, and people that aren't. So I feel like it's just going to widen. Um, and I feel like it's kind of the inevitable. So this is why I say like if people are kind of dropping out of your life or falling out of your life, it's probably best. that's the thing because some people are being, like the Christians say, saved, and
No.
some aren't. So I'm not
Mm.
saying that, it's a physical thing necessarily, but more of a mental, spiritual thing, if that makes sense. But I've seen other theories on this, but I think how I is more spiritual. But of course, spiritual comes into the 3D
Yeah.
too. But there was someone I saw talking about how countries will start to be divided between, AI and not AI, and
Mm.
AI is taking over and stuff like that. And I'm like, I get it. I can see that. But it's definitely the gap between spiritually enlightened and not enlightened is growing. So, you just gotta hop on, and I don't want to say necessarily save yourself, but I will say that you gotta hop on and save yourself.
No, and that's interesting because someone just sent me something, and I hadn't even thought about that. I guess it was a petition to but then I don't know. I guess you have to go to like I guess here it would be like Sacramento or the capital, and you get to talk to, or it was to Stanford University, and you get to talk to, I don't know, there was gonna be members of Congress or what, something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know that the people that are developing these AI apps are just going and taking, like, for example, they could go to your channel and see, oh, train the AI how a tarot reader reads. And I didn't know that they were doing all this stuff without our permission. So basically,
Mm-hmm.
any video on IG, so out there is gonna be an AI with like my mannerisms, your mannerisms, like all this stuff.
That's what I thought of. That's when you said something about the alien. I think that's the invasion. That's
Mm.
what I thought of, the
Wow.
AI.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
So
makes
it's like,
sense.
ugh.
That makes perfect sense. A long time ago, there was this it was one of the he was called Black Elk, right? He was a native medicine man, right? Black
Hmm.
Elk. Black Elk Speaks is the book, but he had a vision when he was young, right? And this was in the, I think, 1800s, and
Hmm.
he got really sick, and then he thought he was just, and then they took him to like the spirit world, everything, and he thought he was just out for like one night, and I think he had been sick, laying in bed for like over 2 weeks or something, right? When he
Hmm.
came out of the vision. But he talked about fighting this blue man, right? The blue man, and then that, I don't know, they gave him like the lightning and all this. It's an amazing vision. Like, it's so detailed, and it's like a long vision that he had.
Hmm.
So after I read that and the blue man, I was like, what? The blue man? And then I was on Facebook and they showed this blue hand. And that's when I thought, in the future,
Yeah.
imagine they showed him over 100 years ago, this vision that one day, like, the future, we will be
Yep.
fighting this blue man and AI, right?
Yeah.
Like, he had a
Yeah.
vision of that over a hundred
Yeah.
years ago. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
if
it
you
makes
ever
sense.
come across, look it up, Black Elk's vision or something, great vision or something. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Uh,
And I think too, like your dream, and this is why I say it's going to be a huge divide between the enlightened and not enlightened, is there's going to be a group that could be like us that are not going to be able to be tricked by their
mm,
stuff because they can trick a whole group of people, with the AI. Even now, like you watch a video, you don't know, is this
yeah,
real? Like,
yeah. It's
what's
crazy.
going on,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I feel like there's going to be a group of people that can see surpass that. They can see past the illusions that they are
Mm,
giving out as well.
yeah.
So that's my theory.
No, no, yeah, because even not too long ago, I was watching some videos and I was like, is this AI? And I think one of them was, right? There was this guy that every video, yeah, it was the same. I was like, no, this is AI, but it looks so real. Like, you can't even tell the difference. It's
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's just crazy now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary. Yeah, because you can make anyone say anything, and
Hmm.
yeah,
You
you
can.
know, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's getting
So,
crazy.
yeah,
It's
if all
getting
you gotta do
crazy.
is make someone mad, and then they'll make a video of you doing
Oh
something crazy,
yeah.
and people won't believe you because they see it, and they're like,
You
no,
see
there's
the
a,
video.
so
Yeah. So you have to be careful now what your eyes are telling you, because your eyes may not be telling the truth. So you may have to dive deeper
yeah,
than
and
what you see.
that's. Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, and I was gonna say that's why I'm very grateful for like the spiritual connection, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm very grateful for it, and I nurture it, right? I take time
Mm-hmm.
to nurture it and disconnect and listen
Mm-hmm.
to, you know?
You have to.
Yeah, yeah. And I get that a lot. Like I'll know if someone's lying to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just I recently I had this just like 2 days ago or 2 nights ago or something. I had the craziest dream, and it was like an apocalyptic scene, and everyone was
Mm-hmm.
living like in kind of ruins or whatever. But in the
Mm-hmm.
dream, I had like the cutest little bobcat. And he was
Mm-hmm.
like, so it looked like it was my familiar, my little
Mm-hmm.
totem, right? The
Yeah.
bobcat. And the bobcat is considered like the shaman's totem, right? Like the little,
Yeah.
because they could see, right? They say like the bobcat sees through the mask and the
Mm-hmm.
deception and all that,
Yep.
right? So, but it was crazy. Like, yeah, I was as happy as can be. And I was trying to record it, like, oh, no one's going to believe I have a little bobcat. And it was like the cutest cub, right? Like a little bobcat cub, and if even that felt like a new journey has begun, right? Because it was a
Mm-hmm.
cub, and
Yep.
and when I go hiking in the mountains, I've ran into so many bobcats, but they're always already like full grown or something, right? But this one was
Yeah.
like a cub, so I was like, okay, that means
Yeah.
something, right? Like the whole
Yeah.
journey, and even
Mm-hmm.
that, everything was like apocalyptic, so that was weird. That was really interesting. Um,
I've had a dream similar to that, except everything was on fire.
oh wow.
Yeah, everything was on fire. But I wasn't worried because for some reason I was in some type of like penthouse
Oh,
and it was the only thing that wasn't on fire.
wow.
So it was like everything around me was burning and I was just like, okay.
Yeah. Wow. So what do you feel that symbolism like that? Like you're
At the
just
time, I just took it as everything that's happening in happening in the world and how,
mm,
everyone's in a panic and in an uproar, and I'm just kind of centered. Like
yeah.
I'm not getting too bogged down by what's going on in the world. I'm trying to
Yeah.
stay within me, because that's the only thing I can control. I can't control anything else or anybody else. So it makes no sense to worry about it or stress about it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I mean, I was gonna ask you like like in what direction do you feel like you'll continue doing the tarot readings, or do you think eventually, because obviously, you have a lot of knowledge, so do you feel like you share enough knowledge through the readings, or do you want to eventually do like
Yes, I would love to share more. So I am in the process of figuring out how to, navigate that and to make that work and, what kind of other content I want to put out. So I do
mm,
know I want to put out numerology, but I'm being guided on what to put out because it's
oh, okay.
like, can everyone handle what I give out, So I feel like knowledge is great to share, but I also feel like you have to be responsible when sharing stuff because some things people aren't really ready for. Like unpopular opinion, I'm kind of on the fence with like witchcraft and stuff type of content because, in the wrong hands, that could go way left. So, I may maybe do a membership type of thing or,
Mm,
get back on my Patreon and start posting on my Patreon and start that out first and then kind of ease into that. But I'll start with the light stuff like numerology, things like that, inner work, personal development, things like that. But the harder stuff, like which I do see, the jumping dimensions and time jumping and things like that. I do see people talking about that type of stuff, but there's still a whole lot we don't understand. And I think that that is what fascinates me with it because there's like a whole like world that we haven't even touched yet. So that's always very interesting to me.
absolutely. And so for you, have you experienced anything like that, like the time jumping or
I have. I have. And it's kind of scary. Now, what made me realize that I had time jumped was I was in my same reality, but I noticed a lot of stuff in my house was different. Like, like say a lamp was on one side of the room, now it's on the other. And
mm,
sometimes it happens, you don't even realize it. Because you're like, I could have sworn this was right here, and now it's not. Because you remember it being one way, but you time jumped and now it's another way. So it wasn't like my first time jump, it wasn't anything like massive. It was like little subtle things that
Mm,
were, out of place. Books that I didn't have, I had now. You know what I mean? Like my bookshelf looked different and
mm.
stuff like that. So, I feel like I haven't had like a massive one yet because I've like watched videos where they time jump and have kids and they didn't have kids. I was like, I don't know what I would do if that happened.
Yeah. And how long do they say they usually stay um in that time jump? Is it just
I just stayed. I never went back.
you can still hear me, right? Because I think it said my
Yep,
microphone. I don't know what it did, but as long as you could hear me,
I can hear you.
yeah, okay. I don't
The
know why.
retrograde.
Okay. Um, what do you call it? So oh, you said that. So for yours, it was just like real quick, momentary.
No, mine stayed. It
Oh, how
stayed
long?
that way.
Like permanently?
Mm-hmm.
So you feel you've already stayed in a different timeline than
Mm-hmm.
the one that was. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep. I stayed. In that one I stayed.
Mm. So
Yeah.
this is that time jump.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you still could you still communicate with the other you
I
and the other?
can't. Well, I probably could. I just had to figure out how to do it. Or do I even want to? Like,
Interesting.
I don't even think I want to, really. But that would be pretty cool that I could, you know, uh, communicate with me in another dimension. Like that'd be pretty cool.
Hmm.
That'd be
Wow,
pretty
now you
cool.
got me thinking if because I would have a lot of those experiences, but it always was like momentary, right? Like one
Mm-hmm.
was a little weird because I woke up in an apartment and I was like, what? Like, where am I? Like, I was like,
Yeah.
what in the hell? And then I saw a purse and I was like in boxers and I was like, what the hell? And then so I grabbed the purse and I ran into the bathroom. I was like in an apartment. I ran into the bathroom because, it was a woman's purse. So I'm looking and then she gets here and she's calling my name. She's like, Omar or whatever. And I'm like, oh, shoot. And I'm like trying to look for her ID, like who? And then I wake
Yeah.
up back in my bed and it was like I jumped up like, and I was like, oh, wow. And I felt exhausted too. I was like, oh, wow. Like that just happened. Like what in the
Yeah.
world? Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
that was
It
freaky. Like,
happens. It
that was-
happens.
yeah, yeah,
But that's kind of like that you definitely experienced one of a you in another dimension is what it sounds like.
yeah, yeah,
But we do have everything going on simultaneously. Our present, our past, and our future is going on at one
yeah,
time. So, that's where deja vu comes in too, because it's like, oh, this happened before. So sometimes you're not seeing the future, it's because it's already happened.
yeah,
Crazy, right?
yeah. And not too long ago, I experienced that Mandela effect too. I was like, what?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
That's crazy.
Those are crazy.
Yeah.
Like with the Sinbad movie.
Oh, what was it about the Sinbad movie?
You remember there's a Mandela effect talking about Sinbad was in a genie movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wasn't he?
No,
Really?
it never happened.
Sinbad the comedian, right?
Uh-huh.
I remember him being in a
Yeah, it never happened.
not in this reality then.
Not in this reality though.
Wow, no way. So if I look it up, it will say he wasn't.
Nope, never happened.
Wow.
That's one of
I-
the most popular. That's one of the ones I've seen on TikTok. Like, okay, yeah, because I remember the movie as well. Lots of people remember it, but if you Google it, there's nothing.
wow. And I googled one recently because and someone else did have it. No, I remember it. So that was a
Hmm.
Mandela. So I was singing a song from a cartoon from when I was little. I think I was singing like, "Do you know the last dinosaur? He's our
Hmm.
friend and the whole." You remember that one?
I don't.
What?
What color is he?
I want to say green. I could be wrong though, so I
Okay,
don't
I'm
remember his
getting
color.
because green popped into my head when a green dinosaur popped into my head when you started singing it.
I think it was, but then when I looked it up, I think it said his name was Denver, the last dinosaur, and even someone else was like Denver. No, it was like so. I found that someone else went through the same thing as me because I could have sworn why would that song was so. I was just singing
Yes,
that song, out
yes.
of nowhere. Yeah.
Jiffy peanut butter was Jiffy. Now it's Jif.
I remember Jiffy.
Now it's Jif.
It
Now it's
was just Jiffy.
JIF.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Do you think they do that's an experiment? They do that to us on purpose, or you just think it's
I
like,
always wonder that. Now, I know it's definitely something has to do with, dimensions and things like that. But I always, because you could have, that could be a time jump type of thing. And
mm,
sometimes there's collective time jumps as well. But I always do wonder, like, are they just playing with us?
mm.
Are they just playing around with us? You never know.
Well, let me tell you this, like how you because it's how you mentioned being responsible with the information and see when I was younger, ooh, I don't know, it was a long time ago, right? Probably in the 2000s, early 2000s. I was going to a college, right? I was trying to get into this. At the time, it was like the best recording program in the country, right? They had top,
Hmm.
they walked us through the studio at school and they were like, you guys just walked through like $5 million of equipment. I was like, like,
Wow.
when am I going to be in a studio? Unless you get signed to a major label or something. But, so I
Yeah.
was going because I was doing music, and in one of the classes, it had like stadium seating, and the professor pulls out this, it looked almost like a speed gun, like the one that the cops use,
Hmm.
and it just had a little square. And everything I've known about sound, like you hear it, right? You can't really. But
Hmm.
he pointed this, and he went through the whole class, and whoever he pointed the gun at, only they could hear the sound, and it sounded like it was inside your head. Because when he got to the person next to me, I saw them going all like that, and I was looking at
What?
them like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" And then once it got to me, you hear it like it's inside your head. And I was like, what in the world? It was the craziest feeling and everything. So, I never really said that to people, but I always thought, like, imagine how many people thought they were schizophrenic and they were like pointing to,
Hmm.
because he said some people at a college he knew were playing with this. They invented it. So if they invented it, I'm sure the government had
Yeah.
things, or took their technology or something. So I was
Yeah.
like, and this was 20 years ago or something. So imagine, I don't know, and I think about just like all those things, right? Every time someone's probably done a school shooting or something, maybe they're putting voices in their heads on purpose.
Hmm.
I think maybe I didn't want to share it because I was like, well, I don't want to say, obviously there's a spiritual side to it. Like there is
Yeah,
people
of
like you, for
course.
example, that you actually hear things,
Yeah.
and it's
They're
not
aware of
someone
that.
playing, yeah, and it's not
Yeah.
someone playing with you like that. So when I've seen this kind of technology, I was like, should I share about that or not? Or,
Yeah.
but I know it exists. So it's scary that these kind of things
Hmm.
have been around for a long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're aware of that. They're aware of the other dimensions and things like that. And you have to keep in mind too that now we're getting into conspiracy theories, but my theory is like whatever they release to us as far as like AI and technology based, they have something probably 50 years ahead
Oh,
behind the scenes. So the fact that we have access to this, what they have access to, we probably couldn't even imagine.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, no, absolutely. I think everything's already possible, right? Like the time traveling, all this stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah. Um, so what else? Yeah, because I want to be respectful of your time. I think we've been, oh, it's probably barely been an hour, right? So okay. But we could start wrapping it up. Like, do you want to share about any things you have going on? Like, because I know at one time you did teach a tarot reading class,
Hmm.
right? So do you have anything else like that right now, or?
I am working on a class. I will have my manifestation class uh edited and uploaded within the next week or so. I am working on another class. It's going to be the art of detachment. But also I think I want to sprinkle in some unconditional love and what that means and everything in there as well. So yeah, I do have that coming up. Most of this stuff will be at the beginning of the year because like I said, I'm clearing some stuff out right now, doing some rebranding, figuring out where I want to go. So I'm kind of experimenting a little bit with posting and things like that. So I am making use of this 9 year and making a transition to see what is going to work better for me going forward because it's going to
Mm,
be a new start, a fresh start next year. So yeah, of course, there's always going to be content on the channel. And always people can email me too and request some things that they want to see and everything like that. Lovepeacegenesis@gmail.com. And yeah.
I don't know. Thank you. I mean, is there anything else? Oh, man, I was gonna ask you something and it slipped right now. What was I gonna ask you? I hate when that happens, but It's fine. Yeah, is there anything else you want to share or any other thing you want to leave people with or
Um, Pay attention to your birthday. Pay attention to your life path number. Look that up. If you can find your destiny card or your life card, people call it different things. Sometimes destiny card, sometimes your life card. Know your birth chart too, so you kind of know what you're working with as well. Um, don't get tarot readings from AI.
oh, they have that now?
They do.
Wow. I didn't see. I didn't even know
Someone
that.
someone mentioned it on a live when I was on live. Someone posted in the chat that there were tarot readings through AI.
Wow.
So what happens is only thing AI is doing is going on YouTube and seeing what they say, and they're giving you that.
Mm.
AI is not connected to source. And there's going to come a time where like spiritually connected people are going to be highly sought after because AI is disconnecting people so much. It's
Mm.
going to be, this is why I talk about the gap widening. It's going to be like a rose growing out of concrete to see a spiritually connected person that's connected to the divine and to source and everything because AI is not connected to that. So even if you have to, find your local reader that only charges a couple dollars, get you a tarot reader that is a person, that is connected because AI is not connected to anything. And the only thing AI is going to do is tell you what someone else is saying.
Mm.
Anyway, so you can go do that yourself. But yeah, that's it for the most part. I think that learn yourself, study yourself. Also, your kids. If you have kids, look at your kids' birth charts, and things like that too. So,
Absolutely. No, and and that's interesting that you said that because I'm sure, AI scans things so rapidly that I'm sure all it does is scan like, the reading and then say this is your
hmm
reading or
hmm
it just gathers information so quickly. Um just piggybacking off of that, what do you call it? Do you feel like it'll ever get to a point where that right, like you said, if people are being sought after, do you think it'll be like in the old biblical days where they were hunting down prophets and killing them and all that stuff? You think it would get to that point?
I don't think it's gonna be that bad. No,
Hmm.
but I feel like you mentioned in your dream, I think that there may be like a war on it, like more of a spiritual war, but not anything physical,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. I don't think it'll be anything physical. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of people being disconnected. But AI is a beautiful thing too, though. So look at the positive and learn how to utilize it for your greatest good. But don't get to a place where you are being disconnected because of it. So always utilize the things that are given and the tools that are given. Because I've seen, people giving readings using AI, and it's like, no,
That's crazy. Yeah, I
don't do
haven't
that.
came across that yet. But I know it's a great tool to have, but even that, and I was watching, it was on the news in Spanish, so I wish, I could have translated it, but like there was this woman that did the whole, or she was talking about a study they did and how ChatGPT is already sending people back, like in the intelligence, right?
hmm
And anybody that uses it consistently, like over 30%, you're losing
Yeah.
your brain capabilities. And I
Yeah.
was like, wow, like it
I
was
told
just,
you mentally it's going to be a huge gap. Spiritually, intelligent people are going to be like ruling, and then there's going to be this huge gap between people that are not. So this is why I say stay on your P's and Q's and use the AI responsibly.
man. Maybe that's why my phone completely just poof. They wanted me to stop to tap in more and just that's it, no more phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So I don't know. Maybe I'll take a while before I go get even though I need it, but whatever. So well, Genesis, thank you so much. I mean, if you ever want to do it again or you have more things to share, by all means, I'd love to have you back. Maybe we could even do it live. I don't know if you'd want to do it live, and we could
Yeah, let me know.
just
Just let
get
me
people.
know.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But no, thank you so much for sharing and being open. And yeah, on that note, thank you to everybody that tuned in. Go follow. It's Love Peace
Love, Peace,
Genesis, right?
Genesis.
Love Peace Genesis, yeah.
Yes.
And
Also send me the link too.
yeah,
Send me the link and I'll share the link.
absolutely, absolutely. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to Genesis once again, and yeah, it's an honor.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Life may move fast, story may move slow. I met a silly man who said he make it slow. We look up out towards space, so even at the sky. One day pass away, but never look inside. Breathe in, breathe out. Life is a maze, but we'll figure this out. I mean, human beings, I ain't got no doubt.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sometimes you just feeling it, you know what I'm saying? You just feeling it. And I wanna feel this way forever, ever.